अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. That was really nice. Wonderful. Yeah, so we'll just move on to the next one, which is going to be the Hare Krishna Kirtan Jai Radha Madhavi. Anybody would like to sing the Jai Radha Madhava? Hare Krishna Neeraj. Hare Krishna Lalita Devi ji.
Hare Krishna Shamji, Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna devotees all. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Lalita Devi ji. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Lalita is one of my elder sister's name as well.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji. Nice to know.
Yeah, I got my elder sister is Lalita and younger sister is Kavita. So, yeah.
Oh, nice to hear, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Nice to hear.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, it's always nice. Yeah, anybody would like to maybe sing the Jai Radha Madhav if you want to? Sakshi ji or anyone? Okay, in that case, yeah, I will sing in case if nobody's. Yeah, Amar Prabhu, were you saying something? Would you like to sing?
No, Prabhuji. So I think you can go ahead with the Kirtan, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhuji. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. So, the nectar has been flowing. We just started off. We had a beautiful chapter in the middle of the beautiful chapter. So, we're going to just dive directly into the Krishna book. And so joyful as always to be reading the Krishna book in the Association of Devotees. I hope everybody can see this now. Let me just bring this down. Yeah. So we just come to this part where giving cows in charity to the Brahmana. So we started off for devotees who we missed last week. By any chance. So we're just covering chapter 70, Lord Krishna's daily activities. And before that, we will offer obeisances to Lord Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. As we always mention, how auspicious it is to listen to Krishna Katha. Lord Prahlad, Bhakta Prahlad says that out of all the different 9 processes of bhakti, the first one is Shravanam. Just listening or hearing the Krishna Katha, it is so auspicious that Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself tells in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti takataha chakudeham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. The transcendental appearance of Krishna's appearance, Krishna's leelas, even if one who understands and knows these leelas of Krishna, that they are not on the material platform, they are completely on the spiritual platform. When Lord Krishna descends from the Golok Vrindavan, even the Vrindavan is also downloaded from the Goloka onto this. So the Vrindavan that's there on our planet is very, very special because this is coming from the spiritual world. So anything that has to be done with Lord Krishna is completely on the spiritual platform. So that's the reason why only devotees can relish this Krishna Kathas, because we are absorbed in the thinking of Krishna on a very spiritual platform. We understand that anything that Krishna does is Leela. When we do something in this world, it is karma. But when Lord does something like this in this material world, it is all Leelas. And in fact, Lord Krishna appears out of his own will, whereas we are born out of karma because of our karmic reactions from the previous life. So we have to always keep our mind absorbed that Krishna himself is giving us the greatest benediction, that by just hearing the Krishna Katha, we will be towards the end of the life. We will not come back into this material world, but we will directly go to the supreme planet of Krishna, which is called as Krishna Loka. So we should take this life very, very precious, this human life, because we are not sure whether the next life you're going to get or not. But anybody who's absorbed in Krishna Katha and who's a devotee of Krishna, we have nothing to fear about that, because Lord Krishna is always there with his devotees and he's guiding us. Either we go to Krishna's Goloka Vrindavan, or for any reason we come back, again get born in a devotee's family where we continue our bhakti life. So anything to do with Krishna Katha or engaging in bhakti towards Krishna, there is no loss. In fact, the future is going to be in Krishna's hands, and we will continue to be as devotees of Krishna. So we started off with this. We have so many beautiful chapters, but the chapter number 70 talks about Lord Krishna's daily activities. So we are so fortunate because we not only, like many religious traditions, they think about God as somewhere sitting in heaven, God is somewhere over there, and God doesn't have a form. There has so many different kind of misconceptions that but here, thanks to our Srila Prabhupada, who has translated all the Krishna Katha in KrishnaBook, where we get to know through this literature the very most beautiful details of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Paramatma, and what are his daily activities and how does he engage in that. But we always have to be very clear when we're listening to Krishna, because there's so many leelas that happen to Krishna, but we have to understand from a life like how Krishna was spending his daily life. Like we seen last time that even during Brahma Murta, even though the Krishna was there with many of these queens, and he would get up early in the morning, whether it was with Rukmini or any other with any of the princes, he followed meticulously that early in the morning, getting up in Brahma Murta and doing meditation on himself. So these are the things which are setting an example for us that as devotees, we should also engage in getting up early and doing meditation on Krishna. Of course, we have Mahamantra, which we all follow, and we are engaging in early in the morning and getting up and doing. In fact, I would say, like, when we're chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we ourselves can find the difference. When we're chanting early in the morning, it's in the mode of Suddha Sattva Guna, and how nicely the chanting goes. But whereas in the daytime, when we are doing, there's so many distractions, and even the way we can engage the focus, and it's not as good as what it is during the Sattva Guna, that is early morning. So we can see, like, the spiritual activities, we can experience ourselves and see like how it is impacting our life and how we are able to engage in chanting the holy name early in the morning versus the remaining part of the day. So we'll just dive into this chapter number 17, Lord Krishna's daily activities. We already did cover to some extent, and we have actually come to the point we had spoke about meditation, that he would get up early in the morning, sanctify himself, and he would perform all the duties and offer prayers to the sun god and things like that. And just so again, he's just setting an example, because here Lord Krishna makes it very clear: yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata abhyutam adharmasya tadatmanam shrajamyaham. Whenever there's a decline in the religious principles, and wherever there's there's too much of demoniac activities and things like that, that's when Lord Krishna descends himself to set right the things. So here we can see through this Krishna Katha how in the Vedic culture, everything was followed by Krishna. In fact, we get to know from Bhagavad Gita that Vedas, Vedaisha sarve aham eva vedo, Vedanta krit veda eva chaham. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Veda, and by all the Vedas, I am to be known. So the whole purpose of studying the Vedas, engaging in the ritualist principles, is to understand that the Supreme Lord is Bhagavan Sri Krishna. He is the one who has to be pleased. So here we can see that Krishna was following everything meticulously according to the Vedic culture at that point of time. So those are the things which we have to take in mind, not the things that Krishna is married, 16,000. But if you see, most of them, 90% of the people on the planet, if you heard about Krishna, they only talk about 16,000, but they don't know that Lord Krishna himself has expanded into 16,000 Krishnas. They're not aware of that. They're not aware that he was so opulent that Krishna, by his leelas, he even created 16,000 palaces. But how many people are even aware of that? That's why it's very important as followers of Krishna that we not only know these kind of these leelas, but we have to share, and we have to correct people who are not aware of Krishna consciousness. So also we can see, last week we covered, like, Krishna would also give cows in charity to the Brahmanas, and 13,000 cows. So you can imagine the kind of opulence was there at that point of time. And this is one of the most auspicious things, like even today, right? In our culture, we see that giving cows as donating cows to the temple and things like that. There's something which we consider as very, very auspicious. In fact, because I serve in the Goshala, and from that experience, I'm saying, I do go pujas on Saturday, Sundays, and during Janmashtami time. So I literally see that people, they're very emotional when their ancestors or anybody is passing away or somebody's birthday. For every occasion, they come and give donation for the Goshala, and they try to do Go Puja. And in fact, they donate for the donate cows as well. So we have these. So these are the things which are coming as part of the Vedic culture. Lot of things have just watered down over the years, and a lot of things got diluted. But thanks to Prabhupada and thanks to Krishna conscious movement, once again, the revival is happening of Gurukuls and Goshalas, and everything again is coming back to light. And as more and more devotees take part in that, and we see how Krishna was giving the cows in charity to the Brahmanas and all these things. So now we are going to just continue from here. And as I was mentioning last time also, there were many Brahmanas who would daily come to see the Supreme Lord Krishna before taking the breakfast. And I was also telling about the Leela that when Lord Ramchandra also was there, there was a Brahmin who actually used to daily come see Lord Ramchandra and go, then only used to have his breakfast. And when Lord Ramchandra was not there in the city, he stopped eating for weeks and weeks together. And because he was so upset that he was not able to see Lord Ramchandra. And only when he came back, he just took the darshan of Lord Ramchandra, then only ate his breakfast. So you can imagine the purity of the devotees in those times. A lot of people say, what do we get by listening to Krishna Katha? What we get is we get a glimpse into the Vedic culture, that how the Vedic culture was there at that point of time, and how not only that Krishna is manifested as they come in different incarnation, and we can learn from the devotees as well, that this is how we have to engage ourselves, having that early in the morning, waking up just to see the Lord first and offer our obeisances and thanking the Lord, because yesterday was the last day for so many people. And today by Krishna's grace, we have another day. In fact, it so happened, I'm not sure if many of you must be already aware of it, but there's one of the devotee in Manor who was regularly coming with Caribbean. I think he's from Caribbean, a black African devotee. He was daily used to be in the Manor, and last week only he left his body, and everybody were really surprised, because many people said day before yesterday only I dropped him in my car, and they were very surprised, because we were literally seeing him every day. In fact, I used to always joke that he's the best dancer in the early morning, because early morning when 7 o'clock darshan is there, he used to dance along with others, and he used to dance so nicely, and I used to always tell him, Prabhuji, you dance so well. And I can't believe that he's left his body. So we don't know when life can come to an end. So we should always make the best use of every day. Thank Krishna every day. The only thing which I was very glad is that towards the end of his life, he spent all his time in Krishna consciousness. Cyrus Prabhu, that's the name of the African devotee. And because of which I was glad that at least, I'm sure he must be going back to Krishna, because he spent all his time in Krishna consciousness towards his time. And we had to pray for each other. We had to pray for each other devotees, and we should relish the association with each and every devotee, because we never know, right, when we are going to be in which place, or we'll be able to ever even come. So many devotees, they come, and after some time we part ways, and they just go in different directions, different places. It's very, very important to relish this Krishna Katha in the association of devotees. This is what keeps us together. So want to start off with the next paragraph. Anyone who would like to read his next duty from here onwards?
I can try, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, Lalitaji, please.
Business duty was so please all kinds.
Can you be a bit louder, Mataji, if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji.
Yeah, now it's perfect.
Okay. His next duty was to please all kinds of men belonging to the different castes, both in the city and within the palace compound. He made them happy by fulfilling their different desires, and when the Lord saw them happy, he also became very pleased. The flowers, garlands, betel nuts, sandalwood, pulp, and other fragrant cosmetic articles offered to the Lord would be distributed by him. first to the Brahmanas and elderly members of the family, then to the queens, and then to the ministers. And if there were still some balance, he would engage it for his own personal use. By the time of the Lord finished all these daily duties and activities, his charioteer Daruka would come with his wonderful chariot to stand before the Lord with folded hands, intimating that the chariot was ready and the Lord would come out of the palace to travel. Then the Lord, accompanied by mm, Udaha, Udahava and Satyaki, Udava and Satyaki would ride on the chariot just as the sun god rides on his chariot in the morning, appearing with his blazing rays on the surface of the world. When the Lord was about to leave his palaces, all the queens would look at him with feminine gestures. The Lord would respond to their greetings with smiles, attracting their hearts so much that they would feel intense separation from him.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It's very
Thank thank you.
thank
It's like nectar, isn't it? Even just
y-
reading.
yes, Prabhuji, nectar is really
Yeah, so that is the beauty of Krishna Katha, isn't it? I mean, it is something which makes your Atma happy. It's not even your senses get purified by listening to Krishna Katha. That's a beauty about it because it is something which is so joyful. I mean, so here the beauty about Krishna Katha is that we get to know how personal we get the personal details of the Lord, Supreme Lord, and see like how he was engaging when he was there on the planet, and there can't be anything. How do we develop love for Krishna? Because if you want to, the whole idea why the Lord comes and gives the Bhagavad Gita and the scriptures is that so that we can appreciate his, we can appreciate and love him with all our heart, follow his instructions, and towards the end of the life he go back to Krishna Loka. The whole idea of Krishna coming and reciting the Bhagavad Gita is so that we follow his instructions and go back to Krishna Loka. In fact, if you see in Bhagavad Gita, out of 700 slokas, Krishna recites about 575. And in that, out of 575, there are more than 200 slokas where he continuously has been saying, like, do like this, do like that, and come back to me. Do like this, do like that, and come back to me. Manmana bhava, mad bhakta, majjadimam namaskuru, mam evasasi yukpaivam atmanam matparayan. Again, engage your mind, doing like this, engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer your obeisances to me, and surely you will attain me. So everywhere he's saying, like, you will surely attain me if you just think of Krishna with all. And how can we think of Krishna all the time? Because only when we're thinking about Krishna all the time, that towards the end of the life, we will be able to really miss him and think about Krishna. And that is when we'll be able to go back to Krishna Loka. Because whatever state of mind we have towards the end of our life, that is where we go, right? Sri Krishna Bhagavan says, Antakale Shamameva Smaran Muktva Kalevara. But for that to happen, we should develop that kind of a love throughout our life. And how do we develop the love throughout our life towards Krishna if we do not know how great Krishna is, how loving Krishna is? We can see that whether in Bhagavad Gita, whether it is the relationship between Krishna and Sudama, whether it's the relationship between Krishna and Draupadi, Krishna and Arjuna, within all these relationships, we can see that there is a loving exchange between both of them. Sudama brings just a chip of rice, and Krishna reciprocates his feeling by giving him a big palace. In fact, when I was been to this Porbandar, there is a Sudama temple actually, and where they put a beautiful picture where Krishna is crying, washing the feet of Sudama. So we had to understand from this, we can understand that it's just not that we are loving Krishna, but Krishna is also equally loves us so much that we can't, which is what we can see in this exchange, right? His duty is like once he's done with his daily morning rituals and meditating and washing himself, sanctifying himself, the next thing what he would do is going and pleasing the people from all the different castes. So this is the kind of a personality we can make out from Krishna, that how he would engage his day-to-day activities and how Krishna is ready to fulfill the desires. In fact, In fact, very interestingly, this reminds me of this loka where it's mentioned here that Krishna would make them happy by fulfilling the different desires. When the Lord saw them, he also became very pleased. So this is a loving exchange between Krishna and his devotees, right? In fact, Krishna knows that anybody who's coming to Krishna, there are four kind of devotees. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritan arjun. So the thing is, Krishna is saying that four types of devotees that are coming. One is someone who's desiring wealth, they want a lot of Lakshmi. Some people who are in pain, material pain, and mental play problems and physical problems and things like that. And the third kind of a devotee is someone who's very curious to know about Krishna. And the fourth kind of a devotee who's come to Krishna is just someone who's just come to see Krishna. That's all. They don't want anything from Krishna. They just want to see Krishna. That's all. And even if you go to the mandir, right, sometimes you find devotees literally in tears when they see Krishna. They just want to see Krishna and they just start crying. So this is the kind of a, but Krishna doesn't, he knows that everybody is, all of them are in the different level of consciousness, and we all have some desires, and there is nothing wrong in going to the Lord to fulfill the desires. But the whole point is that slowly, as we kind of like engaging in bhakti life, right, slowly as we engage in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what will happen is the hankering for material desires, that hankering will go down day by day. As you keep chanting, that your hankering for material desires will go down. And then slowly, two things will happen. Cheto Darpana Marjanam and Baba Maha Davagni Nirbharpana. One is cleansing of the heart, and all your material miseries will coming to an end, and then developing the love for Krishna. So Krishna knows about it. So even though the people who have come to Krishna, maybe they must have come for for a lot of Lakshmi, or whether from problems. In every situation, the Lord personally would make them happy by fulfilling all the desires. So can you imagine the people of that time, how fortunate that they were, that they are kind of like, they had the association, they could see Lord Krishna in front of them and just expressing their things. But again, we have to also keep in mind that just as Krishna was present in front of them in Dwapara Yuga, Krishna is similarly present in Kali Yuga in the form of the transcendental sound vibration of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Suddho Nitya Mukto Abhinnatvam Naminamine. So this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Abhinnatvam meaning there is no difference between the transcendental sound vibration of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and seeing Krishna in person or the deity of Krishna. Everything is one and the same. And it gives us the greatest spiritual benediction. So even though in Dwapara Yuga, the people would be able to see Krishna in person and express their desires and they fulfill them, even now, Nama Chintamani, it's like a wish fulfilling. Krishna is appearing in the form of a Hare Krishna Mahamantra and fulfilling all the spiritual desires, the material desires, because we are all, end of the day, everybody belongs to Krishna. Right? Everybody, we all have a beautiful relationship with Krishna. Mamai Vamsa Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Krishna himself says, we are all part and parcel of Krishna. We all belong to Krishna. He is our supreme father, and we are all his children. So he knows that all the different children, if a father has 4, 5 children, he knows that all the 4 children are different and their desires are different. So, as a father, he tries to fulfill all the desires, right? So in the similar way, and we can see how beautifully the people are getting flower garlands, betel nuts, and it's something very similar that's being followed even now, isn't it? When we go to see Krishna, we either take garlands or we take sandalwood bark or any kind of a nice items, or even fruits or nuts and things like that, which would be offered. So you can see that how Krishna is taking all those things which are given with love and then distributing them to the Brahmanas, and then he was keeping it for his personal use as well. So these are the things which you have to remember, that even when we go to the mandir, Krishna is there in the form of Archa Vigraha. So when we are bringing something for Krishna, Krishna is seeing us, seeing the offering that we are for giving to him. In fact, Krishna is so kind that he made worshipping Krishna, he has made it so easy. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta prayachati tadaham bhakti upahiritam asnami prayatatmanaha. Krishna says, Arjuna, if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will happily accept it. So here we can see that when the devotees, when the people were bringing with flowers and all that, he was accepting them. He was then giving it to the brahmanas. So we have to understand from Krishna Katha, when Krishna also was there, when Duryodhana invited Krishna for a big Rajaboga, Krishna refused to go because there was no love out there. But when the same Vidura invited Krishna for a meal, and he did not have anything, and he just had banana, and even that banana, he was out of love, he offered the covering of the banana, and Krishna was ready to even eat that. So we can see that Krishna is what he's looking for, is the love behind all the offerings that we are giving it to him. So he would nicely offer it to the brahmanas and then elderly people. So this is the kind of a etiquette, this is the kind of a ritual that was followed by Krishna. So these are the things that we have to learn. Like when somebody gives, like, okay, you're offering it to brahmanas, you're offering it to the elderly people and to the queens and ministers, and then he would use it for personal use. So this is what and as we can see over here, his chariot Dwarka, we all know that he's got a chariot called Dwarka, who would come with his chariot, and Uddhava and Satyaki would ride on them, and they would and then, as we all know, Krishna had 16,108 queens and all that, and everybody, and Krishna expanded himself into 16,108 Krishnas. So we can see that every time he would leave the palaces, each and every queen, they would give their feminine gestures and things like that, and Lord Krishna would respond as well. So right from the gopis in Vrindavan, who had so much of love for Krishna, that Krishna himself sent a letter through Uddhava saying that there is nothing more I can offer them for the love that the gopis showed towards him. So Krishna is speechless when he sees that kind of a love of the gopis, because the gopis didn't want anything in return. They just want to only please Krishna. For that is the reason why in Krishna consciousness, the highest form of bhakti is the love that the gopis have shown. It is called as Samsiddhim Haritoshanam. So the whole Krishna consciousness, if you had to put it in one capsule, it is simply like Samsiddhim Haritoshanam, doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna. If Krishna is pleased, that's what they want to do. We all know that when Krishna was having headache, and then he asked for everybody to have to the dust of their feet and all that, and even though the gopis are ready to, even if we go to hell, it doesn't matter. We just want Krishna's headache to be, for that we are ready to give. So that's what made Krishna very happy. So we had to understand through the Leelas what makes Krishna very happy, and that when we are offering our love to Krishna out of anything, a flower or flower garlands or anything, when we do it out of love, that is what Krishna is really looking for. So here we can see that even Krishna is reciprocating, not only to the gopis over there, but even to the queens over here with the feminine gesture. When they were offering feminine gestures, he was attracting their hearts, and they could feel the separation. So we can see that one important thing about Krishna is Sarva Akarshiti Iti Krishna. He attracts everyone, right from children, right from gopis, right from the cowherd boys, right from everyone, all the animals, including the cows and calves, to even to the people of Dwaraka and to the queens over there. So I would just go to the next one. Anyone would like to read this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhu. Can I read, please?
Yes, please. Yes.
Where am I reading from?
Yeah, reading from this one, the highlighted one, then the Lord would go.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Then the Lord would go to the assembly house known as Sudharma. It may be remembered that the Sudharma assembly house was taken away from the heavenly planets and established in the city of Dwarka. The specific significance of the assembly house was that anyone who entered it would be freed from the 6 kinds of material pangs, namely hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. These are the whips of material existence, and as long as one remained in that Sudharma assembly house, he would not be affected by these 6 material whips. The Lord would say goodbye in all the 16,000 palaces, and again he would become one and enter the Sudharma assembly house in procession with other members of the Yadu dynasty. After entering the assembly house, he used to sit on the exalted royal throne and would be seen to emanate glaring rays of transcendental effulgence. In the midst of all the great heroes of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna resembled the full moon in the sky, surrounded by luminaries. In the assembly house were professional jokers, dancers, musicians, and ballet girls. And as soon as the Lord sat on his throne, they would begin their respective functions to please the Lord and put him in a happy mood. First of all, the jokers would talk in such a way that the Lord and his associates would enjoy their humor, which would refresh the morning mood. The dramatic actors would then play their parts, and the dancing ballet girls would separately display their artistic movements. All these functions would be accompanied by the beating of mridanga drums and the sounds of veena, flutes, and bells, followed by the sounds of muraja, another type of drum. To these musical vibrations, the auspicious sound of the conch shell would be added. The professional singers called sutas and the magadas would sing, and others would perform their dancing art. In this way, as devotees, they would offer respectful prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes the learned Brahmanas present in that assembly would chant Vedic hymns and explain them to the audience to the best of their knowledge. And sometimes some of them would recite the old historic accounts of the activities of prominent kings. The Lord, accompanied by his associates, would be very pleased to hear them. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Jam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sakshi. Thank you for reading. It was so wonderful, isn't it? I mean, every time, whenever, in each and every paragraph, in every chapter, there's so much of nectar that we can bring to mind. We can visualize how beautiful it must have been at that point of time, the Lord getting ready and following the rituals and meditating and getting up and giving donation to the Brahmanas and giving the cows in donation to the Brahmanas and following all these things, accepting the garlands and everything and offering to the Brahmanas. We can really bring to mind and visualize how beautiful it must have been, isn't it? And because if right from childhood we keep reading fictional stories and things like that, but when we actually, if you want to really relish these things, this Krishna Katha is the thing to relish. And we are so fortunate that Prabhupada has so nicely given us this Krishna book, so we can see that how Krishna was spending his day-to-day activities, that going to this assembly house known as Sudharma, which is actually taken from the heavenly planets and placed in Dwarka. So some of these things like the Parijata tree or the Sudharma, this assembly, which was taken directly from in the heavenly planets. In fact, when Krishna's potency is such that when he comes in the form of a stone, that is Archavigraha, when he comes in the form of sound vibration, that is Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and when he comes is in the form of Lakadi, that is Lord Jagannath. So like that, Krishna can appear in so many different ways when he comes in the form of a land, that is that land of Vrindavan, directly coming from the Golok of Vrindavan. So we can see that a lot of things, anything they do with the Lord Krishna, it is like everything. In fact, even the cowherd boys, the people who were actually giving company to Krishna, they were not ordinary people. They're very pious people who have done intense austerity, instant of tapas from so many lifetimes to be coming there in the association of they're all from the spiritual planet. So we had to understand that when Krishna's Leelas happen, all the people who are associating with Krishna, although they've been part of the Leela, they're all something like totally a spiritual platform. So that is something we had to always understand, that these Leelas are really, really, really special. Like here, the Sudharma place also, which is coming directly from the heavenly planets. And imagine in this material world, Kali Yuga, Kale dosha nidhi rajan asti ayek mahaguna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangho param vijay. Because this Kali Yuga, in fact, it is supposed to be the most fallen yuga of all the 4 yugas. Kale dosha, because it's a place of fault finding, hypocrisy and anxiety and everything. But the only beautiful thing about Kali Yuga is that by just engaging in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, engaging in Kirtan, you'll be completely liberated and you will go back to Krishna Loka. It's such a great thing. But here we can see that one of the 4 problems that we always say, Janma Mritu Jara Vyadi, right? Being born and then old age, disease and death. These are the biggest problems of human life, isn't it? And which is the reason why we don't want to go through these 4 different things. And the whole purpose of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to just overcome, not to come again into this bodily form and go through all the pains of being born and things like that. And and old age and death and all. But here you can see that Sudharma, the place, is something which kind of like will be freed from all these material pangs. It's such an amazing thing, isn't it? The during the Dwapara Yuga, the people were intelligent. The kind of leelas that were happening were extraordinary, and even some of these places also. Like, can you imagine just being freed from all thirst, lamentation? That means you wouldn't even have that kind of influence of feeling hungry. For us, like almost every day, for Ekadasi, we managed to not eat. But can you imagine just not eating for such a long time? But during Treta Yoga and Dwapara, we can see that through so many examples of devotees who have just, stayed there without even eating for such a long time. But here also we find that whoever is there in this particular Sudharma's place, that they could be freed from all these pangs of material nature, because you can't escape from these pangs of material nature, isn't it? But in those days, you had this Sudharma place, and it's also beautiful, right? Because like I was mentioning, Krishna expands into 16,000 Krishnas, and again he would say goodbye to all the princes in the 16,000 palaces, and again they all would come forward and come and become as one Krishna and enter into Sudharma assembly hall. This is just amazing, isn't it? The Leela. And I was just thinking, like, how imagine just bring it to me. If you just had to imagine that, how beautiful it must have been that Krishna is just leaving 16,000 palaces, and after that he just comes and becomes one Krishna, and then he goes into the Sudharma assembly place. And then again, we can see like how beautiful it must have been in the Sudharma place, where sitting on a royal throne and in the middle of all of them. And and even now, up to recent time, we keep hearing about the kings, right? They have a lot of the assembly like full of jokers and dancers and musicians and learned people like sages and everybody sitting over there. And again, all of them were in their own capacity, they were trying to please the Lord and put him in a happy mood, which is what I was telling. Like, Krishna consciousness, if you sum it up in one word, samsiddhim haritoshnam, which is always to, the whole concept of Krishna consciousness is to please Lord Krishna. Because when one of the names of Krishna is Rishikesha, Rishikesha Sevanam, which means like if we are engaging our senses in pleasing Lord Krishna, and that reciprocation happens because he's the Lord, he's the Lord of our senses, right? Rishikesha, he's the master of our senses. So when the master is happy, then obviously our senses will become happy as well. So we can see that even the jokers would talk in such a way that Lord would enjoy the humor. So Lord Krishna is, if you have to really think about it, Lord Krishna was giving an opportunity for all these people in this Sudharma assembly to please him, giving a chance. But so even though Krishna may not be in person, but we know that Krishna is available in this transcendental sound vibration. We know that Krishna is available to us in the Archa Vigraha form. So in this way, even in Kali Yuga, we can engage in our own way in order to please Krishna with whatever talents that we have. In fact, last 6 years that I've been going to the manor, one of the greatest thing is like there's so many things I never even thought I could sing a bhajan, or because I never sang before that. I never thought I could sing. I never thought I could recite from Bhagavad Gita. I never thought I could go and sing the artis. There's so many things I never even imagined in my life that I could do. But Krishna, the beautiful thing about Krishna is when we engage in service of Krishna, Krishna will give all the kind of skills in order to serve him, so that's the most important thing that we have to realize, that on our own effort we may not do, but when we pray to Krishna, when we're chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna will give different devotees different skill set in order for them to perform and please them. It could be anything. So Krishna consciousness is a great platform where all of us can explore and find what is it that we can do for Krishna. What are the different areas? Some people like to serve Mahaprasadam. Some people like to go and, just do in the car park. Some people like to only serve in the Goshala. So Krishna is giving us so many different facilities in different areas where all of us can use our own skills and our own way in order to perform all these things in order to please Krishna. So anything that we can do, samsiddhim haritoshnam, anything that we can do to please Krishna. So here we can see like people, different kind of people. Some jokers were there and dancers were there, musicians were there, but they're using all the talents in order to please Krishna. That's the whole concept. That's the whole thing about Krishna consciousness, using all your talents for pleasing Krishna. And even here, you can see that the beating of mridanga, drums, and veena, flute, and all that. So it is not like how people believe that, oh, in the ancient times, it just come from, they were like in a very bad shape. They didn't know anything. We just evolved. In fact, we have not evolved. We have regressed from, because in those times, there was the opulence in Dwapara Yuga was another level. You can see, we have been seeing from all the different chapters of Krishna Katha that the opulences in Dwapara Yuga were like amazingly beautiful at that time. The kind of, like, you can see from this itself, the professional singers, they were singing, the Magadas would sing, they were using drums, veena, flute, and everything. In fact, veena and sitara and all that, even when we were young, we used to watch them, but nowadays you don't find that much happening everywhere, isn't it? Because a lot of our culture is just getting diluted because of Western influence and things like that. But thanks to Krishna consciousness, we have again the mridanga and the kartal and everything is again coming back. And people are learning and using that much more regularly in the mandis, which is good, isn't it? Because no matter how much we have the modern instruments, the kind of ambience that that the mridanga creates or the kartals, all this bring a really a very divine ambience in the mandir, isn't it? Whenever we use them, so we can see that a lot of things are coming from the ancient Dwapara Yuga onwards, right? And so all the devotees, they were offering the prayers to Lord Krishna, and even the Brahmanas would chant the Vedic hymns and explain to the audience. So we can imagine at that time, the Brahmanas and also they were so highly, in fact, now in Treta Yuga, they used to do fire sacrifices, and because the Brahmins, they were so well versed in the Vedic prayers and things like that, they knew a lot, and they were like highly spiritual, and they had that kind of a talents to recite from the Vedic and but now how much do we have in Kali Yuga? So Krishna again had to come in the form of a devotee called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to tell us that, okay, fine, we don't have the knowledge, we are very fallen in Kali Yuga, our memories are less, our age span is less, everything is less. So Krishna is so kind that he knows that the Kali Yuga is so fallen, our memories are weak, our lifespan is short. So he's given us the best shortcut, that just chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You don't need to do the Vedic hymns. You don't need to do all these things. You will get the same benefit. In fact, the beautiful sloka from the chapter number 8 of Bhagavad Gita is Vedeshu yajneshu tapasu chaiva daneshu yat punya palam pratistam acheti tat sarvam vidam viditva yogi param sthanam upechi chadyam, where Krishna Bhagavan himself says in Akshara Brahma Yoga, chapter number 8, the last verse, Krishna says, just by engaging in bhakti, just by engaging in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and doing the kirtan, you get all the benefits people you'd get in the ancient time by reading the Vedas, by doing austerities, doing penances, philosophical activities, and all those kind of donations and things like that. All those benefits what people used to get in Treta Yuga and Satya Yuga, you can get the same benefits in Kali Yuga by just engaging in Nama Japa. So Nam Japa is in Kali Yuga is one of the greatest benediction that Krishna is offering, that even you may not be able to good at reciting the Vedic hymns now, and we may not be able to do the fire sacrifices like how they did elaborately in Treta Yuga. But by just chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you get all the benefits, which is what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. So here we can see that all the people in the assembly of Sudharma house, they were doing using the different talents in order to please Krishna, and Lord Krishna was so pleased to hear them as well. So this is the loving exchange that Krishna has with his devotees, because we all have to remember that we are all part and parcel of Krishna. So it is our dharma. The dharma of the Atma is to please the Paramatma. So that's a very important thing. Can I ask someone to read the next one?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Please
Krishna.
accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Yes, yeah, please.
The one way is highlighted, is it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Once upon a time, a person arrived at the gateway of the assembly house who was unknown to all the members of the assembly, and with the permission of Lord Krishna, he was admitted into the assembly by the doorkeeper. The doorkeeper was ordered to present him before the Lord. The man appeared and offered his respectful obeisances unto the Lord with folded hands. It had happened that when King Jarasandha conquered all other kingdoms many kings did not bow their heads before Jarasandha, and consequently, all of them, numbering 20,000, were arrested and made his prisoners. The man brought before Lord Krishna by the doorkeeper was a messenger from all these imprisoned kings. Being duly presented before the Lord, the man began to relay a message from the kings as follows. Would you like to continue, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna. Yeah, maybe you can read the next one as well, Prabhuji.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. Dear Lord, you are the eternal form of transcendental bliss and knowledge. As such, you are beyond the reach of the mental speculation or vocal description of any materialistic man within this world. A slight portion of your glories can be known by persons fully surrendered unto your lotus feet, and by your grace only, such persons become freed from all material anxieties. Dear Lord, we are not among these surrendered souls. We are still within the duality and illusion of this material existence. We, therefore, take shelter of your lotus feet, for we are afraid of the cycle of birth and death. Dear Lord, we think that there are many living entities like us who are eternally entangled in fruitive activities and their actions. They are never inclined to follow your instructions by performing devotional service, although it is pleasing to the heart and most auspicious for one's existence. On the contrary, they are against the path of Krishna conscious life, and they are wandering within the three worlds, impelled by the illusionary energy of material existence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So wonderful, isn't it? I mean, you can see like through these leelas, so many beautiful things that right from that point of time, we have covered in the earlier chapters about how Lord Krishna fought with King Jarasandha and defeated him 17 times. And later, when he gets a letter from Rukmini Devi that when she wanted to see him, and he just left the battlefield and he left and he went to attend to that request. So one of the things that Krishna, when we talk about Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, we say Bhagavan Uvacha, because he's the master of all the 6 opulences that Krishna has. And one of the opulences, he's got unlimited renunciation as is one of the things, opulence that he has. Renunciation means he's totally detached from everything. So when his request came, he just left out there. And then, so that's one of the ways in which we can understand about renunciation, one of the opulences that Krishna has: unlimited strength, unlimited beauty, unlimited knowledge, and everything, in unlimited renunciation as well, that he could just leave it out there. So we can see that the person who has come to the assembly and who has been admitted with the permission of Lord Krishna is a messenger who has come from all the kings who have been imprisoned by King Jarasandha. So, like, how all the bad boys are together. We can see earlier also, we seen King Jarasandha was actually a friend of Rukmi, who's Rukmini Devi's brother and all that, right? We've seen that earlier as well. So all these people are like ganged up. And so Jarasandha did this, that he conquered all this, when he was conquering these kingdoms around at that point of time. And we can see, like, some of the kings, obviously Kshatriya, like there's some such Kshatriyas who are not ready to, they have that Kshatriyas are known for that valor and things like that, right? So they don't go below in certain ways. So, and for all the people who did not bow before them, Jarasandha, obviously, he has arrested and made them as prisoners. So we can find that this person who has come to the assembly of Sudharma house is actually a messenger on behalf of those people who come to petition with the Lord, and giving the message. And one of the things which really which really blew my mind is, like, you can see during the time of Dwapara Yuga, like, how knowledgeable each and every one of them, if you can recall, if you browse your memory back to the times when and Devaki and at that point of time, Vasudeva was actually was kind of like pleading with Kamsa, telling that there is no danger from your sister. Please leave it. This life is like this. There is life after another life and things like that. I mean, the kind of spiritual talk that Vasudeva was giving to Kamsa, like, you can see that, or whether it's Uddhava speaking, all the people at the Dwapara Yuga time, you can see that they were so knowledgeable at that point. They were so spiritual at that point. We remember even when Muchukonda also, when seeing the four-armed Narayana form of Krishna also, how he praised Krishna and how he spoke about Krishna, like, and Krishna asked him, do you want anything because you were a devotee in your previous life? And Muchukonda was like, no, I know that how this material life is like this, and I don't want to get entangled, so I'm not requesting for any material benefit and all. So it's like, it's just because today, imagine just Lord appears in front of you, you would go and request a big bucket list of all the material things you will go and ask. Give me one BMW car, give me one beautiful palace, and you'll have a big list of it. But and to think of Muchukonda, devotees like Muchukonda in those days of Dwapar Yoga, the Lord appears in front of them and they're like, no, I do not want anything. I just want your shelter. And we can see even from when Bhakta Prahlad also, when Lord Narasimha, he appeared in front of him and he said, like, what do you want? He said, like, I'm not a businessman that I'm doing something in exchange. I just want you to, that I should never forget your name. And please kindly forgive my father. So this is the kind of what you can understand from the devotees or even from the people at that time. So here we can see the message, how nicely he's addressing Lord Krishna, that he is a form of transcendental bliss and knowledge. And we all know that Krishna is like Sachitananda Vigraha, right? Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadir Adi Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. From Brahma Samhita we can see Lord Brahma's prayers as well. He is full of, he's eternal, and because we are all part of him. Our Atma is eternal, Krishna is eternal. Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitanam. So we can see, like, and Krishna is full of bliss, full of knowledge. He is Atma Rama, like, he's full of knowledge and everything, self-satisfied, and obviously, and he's, as he mentioned rightly, is beyond the reach of mental speculation, because by mental speculation, you can never understand Krishna. It is impossible, because and Krishna told us the process by which we can understand Krishna. Bhakyamam abhijanati yavanyastasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvato jnanam visate tad anantaram. Sri Krishna Bhagavan says that, Arjuna, the one and only way you can understand is not by mental speculation or by anything, but only by bhakti. Only when you engage in bhakti, that is when you can understand me, and by that process only you can enter into the kingdom of God. So Krishna has made it very clear that the one and only way you can understand Krishna is by bhakti and not by mental speculation. And bhakti starts by Shravanam, hearing Krishna Katha, hearing Bhagavad Gita, even the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The most important thing in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is that when we are chanting, you have to hear the mantra, because when we hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it enters into your ear and it goes into and cleanses your mind and cleanses your heart. Cheto Darpana Marjanam, right? Cleanses the mirror of your heart. The heart is compared like a mirror. The Goswamis have compared the heart like a mirror, and then we are not able to see ourselves because it is full of dust. And only when we are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it clears everything. So here, as he rightly mentioned, Krishna is beyond the reach of mental speculation. And a slight portion of the glories can be known by persons who are fully surrendered. Because the thing, after Krishna explaining the whole of Bhagavad Gita, the final signature by Krishna is Sarvadharman Parichajya Mamekam Saranam Braja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshe Isyami Masuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me. I will protect you from all sinful reactions. Masucha, don't fear. I'm there for you. So the most important thing, that's a slight glory. So when we surrender to Krishna, by the grace of Krishna, we will be able to understand Krishna, and we'll be able to be freed from the material anxieties. Like I said, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Maha Davagni Nirarpanam. That's the second part of the cleansing. When we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we'll be freed from material anxieties, which is what I was saying. So one thing is important that we can understand from this one is, when we surrender to Krishna, when we are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and we are telling Krishna, Krishna Tavasmi, which means, Krishna, I am yours. When we are surrendering in that mood, and by chanting the Hare Krishna, in fact, when we chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it should be in the mood of surrender. It should be a spiritual call for Krishna. Krishna, kindly protect me. When we are surrendered like that, just like how Krishna protected Draupadi, similarly, Krishna protects all the people who are surrendered to him. So here he's addressing very clearly that we are not among those surrendered souls, but we are still within the duality and illusion of material existence. That's the thing. So we can understand when somebody is surrendered to Krishna, when somebody is engaged. In fact, once we start chanting also, we have to understand that we are no more on the material platform, we are on the spiritual platform. whether when we are in a mandir, when we are in Vrindavan, any of these activities, spiritual activities, we are completely on a spiritual platform, no more on the material platform. But for people who are engaged in this material world, who are not in bhakti life, they are still within the dualities and illusion of material existence. For them, they are still covered by Yoga Maya. That's why Sri Krishna says, right, that he covers himself by Yoga Maya. So that is something Krishna doesn't reveal himself to people in the material existence, right? So there was one sloka also where he mentioned that he covers himself by Yoga Maya. So that's why when some of the people, they can't understand Krishna, they struggle to understand. Even Bhagavad Gita, they say like, yeah, we're trying to read, but I just can't understand all that, because so it's not available for everyone. It's only when we start taking to the shelter of Krishna, when we are in satsang of devotees, when we are engaged in bhakti, slowly Krishna reveals himself. In fact, Bhagavad Gita is not a book like a standard material book that you can read and mug it up and understand. No. As you keep reading, Krishna keeps revealing himself. As you keep reading, Krishna keeps revealing himself. That's the reason why devotees tell from their experience that every time I keep reading, I get some new realization, because that is what is happening. As you keep surrendering and as you keep reading and again, Krishna slowly starts revealing himself. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajati priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To those who are constantly serving me with love, I give them the understanding by which they come to me. Which means that as we keep surrendering to Krishna, as we are engaging in serving Krishna, Krishna says, I'm going to give you such kind of a knowledge by which you can revealing himself, and by Krishna slowly reveals himself. By that way, you can understand Krishna. So with this grace, so it's very important that we are saying. So here he's saying that we are still in the duality, of everything, like the dualities in life, happiness and pain and things like that. So we're all, the materials people, they're all stuck in all that. So we therefore take shelter. So this is the request, that we want therefore take shelter of your lotus feet, for we are afraid of the cycle of birth and death. So this is the thing, right? Why do we need shelter? Because millions of years we are coming again and again into this material world. Again we are coming, taking a different form, one as an animal, once as a human being. Again, if we fall down, again maybe as we'll be born as an animal. Because Krishna made it very clear, right? Those who are in the Sattva Guna, they go to the higher planets. Those who are in the Rajoguna, they stay back into this material, come back into this material world. And those who are in Tamoguna, they go back into the animal kingdom, right? So it's the state of consciousness. We have to slowly elevate our consciousness so that we are in the Suddha Sattva Guna, so that we can come out of this cycle of birth. But the only way we can come out of all these three gunas is by bhakti. Mamchayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Krishna himself says the one and only way you can transcend these three gunas, sattva-guna, rajoguna, and to go to the above all these things is by taking to the bhakti of Krishna, which means taking to the shelter of the lotus feet. And that is the way we can come out of this cycle of birth, only by engaging in bhakti towards Krishna. Because when we engage in bhakti towards Krishna, up to the level of Krishna makes it very clear. Even if you worship Brahma, which is the highest planet in the material universe, even Abrahma Bhuvana Loke Punar Avartan Arjuna Mamupeti Paunteya Punar Janmana Vidyati. Even if you go to the Brahma Loka also, again over there also there is a cycle of birth and death. Again, you'll have to come back into this material world. But anybody who goes to Krishna Loka, he's come out of this cycle. There is no more going to be birth and death. That's the reason why Krishna says, right? Na tad basayate suryo na shashanka na pavakaha yad gatva ninivartante tad dama paramamava. Krishna makes it very clear that the Krishna Loka that I'm talking about, Arjuna, is completely free. There's no need for a sun or a moon. And those who reach my planet, they don't come back again. So it's only by going to Krishna Loka that we come out of this cycle of birth and death. Otherwise, till the Brahma Loka, we go into the same pattern. We are born, you go old, disease, and again you die, up to the Brahma. So he's saying, my dear Lord, we think that there are many living entities like we are eternally engaged in fruitive activities. So he's not alone. We all know in the material world, there's so many people who are always engaging in fruitive activities and the reactions, right? A lot of people say like, you know what, I don't believe in God, but I'm just doing my karma. No, by just thinking that you're doing your karma, you can't escape, that. Because with every karma comes karmic reaction. And what we in Krishna consciousness talk about is akarma. We are doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna. doing it like that. That's the only way we can come out of the reaction. Otherwise, every work that you do, any fruitive work that you do, even though you may say that, okay, I'm not doing anything bad, I'm just doing my karma, but even to enjoy the benefits of the karma, again, you'll have to take birth again, which is what in Krishna consciousness we say, like, if you want to come out of the cycle of birth and death, then you have to engage in doing everything as a sacrifice for Krishna. Yajna Sistasina Santo Muchanta Sarva. So there is a way in which Krishna doesn't want us to engage in fruitive activities in the material world, because that is what binds you into this material world. And this is what's happening here. He's engaging in fruitive activities and the reaction. You can never come out of it. Again, you will have to take birth, and again, you have to either enjoy or to suffer. So he's talking about they never inclined to follow your instruction. This is what happens, isn't it? A materialistic person, if a Krishna conscious person, like, when people go for book distribution and things like that, I have taken part in the book distribution as well. And some of the doors, it is so amazing, the kind of experience that we get. They just close the door. They don't want to even open the door. Imagine, they're so materialistic that when they see devotees of the Lord, they don't want to open the door, because they don't have the security and they don't want to also. They're not inclined, like you can see, they're not inclined to follow your instructions. They're not inclined toward devotional service or anything like that. And some people have experienced that when we went for book distribution, they were giving us 50 pence for the books. Imagine, we were giving Bhagavad Gita and they were giving 50 pence, 25 pence, like that. So not everybody has that kind of inclination, to follow instructions which Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita. If you tell them that Bhagavad Gita, this is what Krishna has mentioned, they'll say like, well, I will read it when I'm old, but during retirement. People think that Bhagavad Gita is some kind of retired man's, pastime. But this is not the thing. It is a life manual. So they don't follow this, perform the devotional service, although we can see that in the mandir, we can see in Bhakti Vedanta manner as well, when people come to the temple, they get lost in the devotion, they get lost in the kirtan and things like that. They feel so much. So it's so pleasing to the heart, isn't it? Which is what he's mentioning here, that performing devotional service is so pleasing to the heart and the most auspicious thing. In fact, for us, the most beautiful thing is, like, today we were doing kirtan for from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock we did kirtan. And when we went, there was one Mataji who just came to us and she said, Prabhuji, I just want to tell you, this is the first time I'm coming to Mana, and I came with my family, and we come from so far. We came all the way from so far, and first time we are listening to the kirtan. We feel so happy. We feel so joyful. There's so much of bhakti over here, and we were enjoying the devotion and things that's pouring out. And we felt like, so this is the greatest thing to hear, where as devotees, we sing to please the Lord. But when we sing to please the Lord, there will be so many other people also who are just come to see the Lord, and they get benefited as well. And even if we can give them plant a seed in their heart, and that will definitely sprout at some point of time, maybe not. And she said, like, I surely want to come again, because the kind of ambience, the devotional ambience is so nice in the mandir. We feel so nice to be coming out here. So these kind of experiences make us realize that how the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and how the kirtans are really so pleasing to the heart for so many people, and they come and express. And we feel so happy when we hear that, we are able to touch somebody's heart through the kirtans and give them that peace of mind, that kind of a relief and that kind of hope that, just by listening to Hare Krishna Kirtan, it gives so much of joy. So here he's saying, on the path, the contrary, those who are against the path of Krishna and they're wandering within the three worlds, impelled by the illusionary. And this is what is happening. We are constantly oscillating between all the planets, all the 7 planets on top and 7 planets below. We are just moving from one planet to another based on all these gunas. And just imagine, just for satisfying our sense gratification, we are engaging in so many things, karmic things, and because we want to feed our false ego and things like that. And these are our enemies, which are pushing us to the lowest level. Our lust, our greed, our anger, our false ego. These are all our enemies, which are actually putting us in such a hopeless situation that they're pushing us down into the lower planets. And again, it takes so many lifetimes to come back and get a human life. Manushyanam sahasreshu kastid yatati siddha. Krishna himself says, out of many, many people who are born, hardly one person is interested in spiritual life. And out of those people who are interested in spiritual life, hardly one person knows Krishna. So you can imagine, like, when people come to the mandir, these are not ordinary people. These are the people who must have done so much of piety in their previous life, that we are able to have the association of devotees. We should not take it lightly, that, having the satsangs and being able to go to the mandir and things like that, because all this is the result of so much of piety that we had done in our previous life. Yesham tu antagatam papam janananam punya karmanam. Krishna himself appeals people who have done so much of pious activities in the previous life, and in this life they take to my devotional service with determination. Krishna himself is saying, so we have to always be happy about the fact that some piety all the devotees must have done there, though they have come to the temple. Now, as devotees of Krishna, aspiring devotees of Krishna, if we can just share our knowledge with people, we share our kirtans with others, and bring them also into Krishna consciousness, there can't be anything more beautiful than that. Krishna says, right, in Bhagavad Gita, those who are preaching about Krishna, those who are passing the knowledge about Krishna to others, Krishna says there is no one who can be more dear to Krishna than them. So this is what we have to understand from Krishna consciousness, that each and every small thing that we attempt, that we do to please Krishna, swalpam abhyasya dharmas, even if you do a little bit of thing for Krishna, that is something which is very pleasing to Krishna. And we can see through this Leela that Krishna is always reciprocating, as we can see in the above paragraph, right? When they were all assembling and doing all these things, Krishna is so pleased, and he's also reciprocating by giving it back to the brahmanas, giving it to the ministers and things like that. So these are the Leelas which bring to our mind that it's so beautiful that Krishna is never, that love with Krishna is never one way. The whole thing we can understand from this Leela is that anything that we do for Krishna, Krishna is always reciprocating the loving relationship between the devotee and Krishna. So I would like to stop at that. Sorry, normally I have put an alarm and I've missed out on that, putting the alarm. So I would have stopped at 9 o'clock. Apologies on that. But I will stop over here. That where people who are not Krishna conscious, they're wandering within the three worlds, but a devotee of Krishna, he's not worried about, about death and things like that, because he knows that he's in the same hands of Krishna and what the life is going to hold in the next life as well. So I'll just stop over here for any realizations, corrections, or anything at all. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Ramalal Das ji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Moga Prabhuji.
So beautiful, Prabhuji. It is so relishing and describing Katha with the real-time incidents and how the people, one side, it is people before crossing the line, after crossing the line. It's entirely different. Our life is entirely different.
Yes.
Some people are struggling to cross that line. That is the only problem. So yes, so beautiful, Prabhuji. So maybe we shall go through the table. So
Yeah, definitely.
devotees for the reflections, and then if any questions, we'll start with
Definitely.
Sakshi Mataji.
Yeah.
Mataji.
Sakshi ji, anything would like to?
So any questions or sharings or any reflections? Sakshi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Shyam Prabhuji, thank you so much for the wonderful class. I'm sorry. It was just pure nectar. Every word that you have said is Krishna himself, like as if Krishna is speaking as such. And your own realizations at the temple, and the various Bhagavad Gita verses is so much to learn from. And thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Yeah, thank you, Sakshi ji. Thank you for your association. So it's always joyful when our devotees join and we just hear the katha together. That's when we can really share. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Sakshi Mataji. Okay, we shall go to Neeraj Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Neeraj Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sam Prabhuji, and Hare Krishna, Mataji. It's really joyful. First time I feel that how we stop it. It should keep continue for hours and hours. It's really good to listen that. And the thing that you explain about when we go in our discussion about the 16,000 princes and all, people sometimes make a fun of us, but the reality is that we should understand and counter sometimes. It really help. Yeah, I am really glad to listen to all the actual things about that. But yeah, still my learning days, but really great, Sam. Yeah, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhuji. And also Prabhupada also, when the disciples were there, say, Prabhupada is like, whatever knowledge that we have, it's very impossible to know the whole of Bhagavad Gita in one go and things like that. We are slowly evolving in our knowledge. And whatever little knowledge that we have, we just have to take our notes and be prepared, because the war is no more on the battlefield. The war has gone to social media, now.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and people use, and even our Hindus also, 90% of
yeah,
them, they don't know any of these things. They are
yeah, yeah,
completely zero in the knowledge. So as devotees of Krishna, we have to do our dharma. We have to do our dharma. We have to stand up for our dharma. And somebody is speaking anything, we have to correct them. No, this is not right. And this is what is the actual thing from Bhagavatam. That's what. So Chitvainam, you know, Krishna says, Atistotista Bharata, like armed with yoga Arjuna, stand up and fight. And as Krishna devotee, that's what we have to do. We have to stand up and fight. We have to correct people. No, this is
yeah,
not. And that whole, because a lot of people keep away because these cobwebs are there in their mind, which is not allowing them to go closer towards Krishna. But once we clear these doubts, then they will, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, from tomorrow I'm going to come. So once we clear the doubts, they'll be like back to, loving Krishna. So thank you, Prabhuji.
really.
Hare Krishna. Please join us whenever you can.
Yeah, sure, we'll do that.
Hare Krishna. Lalita Devi ji, would you like to add anything or any corrections?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, very well explained, Prabhuji. Beautifully explained. Yeah, it was really nectar. There are no words to explain here. Thank you, Prabhuji,
Thank
for
you.
all your session.
So Prabhupada's grace, I mean, his blessings that we're able to hear, isn't it? Otherwise, who would have thought like such a beautiful Sanskrit, everything got translated into English. How can we thank Prabhupada ever? The only way we can thank Prabhupada is to spread this knowledge of Krishna Leelas and everything with everyone. That will please Krishna and that will please Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji, and thank you, Hare Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji. Little Bhaktas Gurukul.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Oh, it's Pavan Prabhuji. Okay, I was wondering who's a Gurukul.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, I'm taking sessions for kids. Whatever I learn here, so I'm spreading to them. So,
Very nice, Prabhuji. Very nice.
So yeah, firstly, I'm really thankful for everyone in the Sangha, you, and then whoever does the guest speakers. It's helping me a lot. My foundation is becoming strong. I was able to preach to the kids, and today morning, I took a session, like 3 day session, for all of them, like in terms of the power of holy names. So I was able to deliver just because of all of your support and knowledge which I'm getting here. So and I can clearly relate what happened this morning and what you told this evening. Everything connects because the topic today was like we gone through the power of the holy name Ram. So about the pastimes of Valmiki. So Valmiki used to be like dacoit, isn't it? So and then once he met Narada Muni and he wanted to rob, and then Narada Muni asked a question like, "Why you want to rob?" He said, "For family." Okay, I asked your family whether they take your sins as well. Then that's a turning point. So whenever you meet a sage, so you just kind of cleanse yourself. That's what happens. That's exactly about this sangha as well. Whoever joins this sangha, they become like one of the dearest ones to the Krishna. So, and then Ratnakar himself, when Narada Muni suddenly change he happens, and then he starts chanting Mara instead of Rama without knowing Ram, and then even without knowing the name of the Lord, he chanted Mara, it became Rama. And then look at that, rest is the history. So that shows like it can change anyone, even if anyone having a very bad past life. Just chant.
Yeah.
Don't think anything. Like in the previous sessions, couple of days ago, one of the Prabhuji said, whatever the situation is, like, chant anyway. You don't feel like chanting, chant anyway.
Yeah.
You feel stuck, chant anyway. You're depressed, chant anyway. You don't have time, chant anyway. You know,
use everything.
Exactly.
You know, like how a drunkard, he will use every opportunity to drink. You know, when he's happy, he'll drink. When it's Christmas, he will drink. When he's sad, he'll say, "I'm sad." I keep saying, like, you know, a person who drinks to drown his sorrow doesn't know that sorrow knows how to swim.
Exactly.
Next day morning, the sorrow will come back again. Like, okay, hello.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Actually, it gives a lot of hope. Actually, you know, our stories give a lot of hope, and children are fresh.
Yeah.
They're just waiting to absorb the knowledge. You know,
Exactly.
whatever you feed them,
Yeah.
that goes into the consciousness. So that's the right time when we fill the mind with beautiful stories. In fact, for me, if you see, like, sometimes I keep telling things from Bhagavad Gita. I keep telling some real-time stories about, you know, the pastimes I listened about, some from deities and things like that. Because, you know, one of the things which really all of us can absorb is real-time stories. So
Exactly.
inspiring stories and things like that. So what would happen to Bhakta Prahlad if he hadn't listened to, you know, Narad Muni when he was in the womb of his mother? What would happen to Dhruv Maharaj if he haven't met Narad Muni? You know, all these people have been ordinary people, actually.
Yeah.
He would have been another king. He would have been another this thing. But all of them just by the power of hearing.
Exactly.
Power of hearing. That gives us a hope that by power of hearing the Krishna Katha and meeting the saints, hearing from the saints, that even an ordinary robber like Ratnakar also can become such a great
Saint,
and he wrote the whole of Ramayana. So yeah, these are our leelas. They give us hope, and which is what we need to pass it on to everyone. You know,
Yeah.
full of hope.
It clearly gives power of the holy name. What happens if they chant? And then kids today, when I asked them, like, summarize, I was literally impressed. They like improvised the story and just summarized it to us. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I requested everyone to chant Hare Krishna at least once a day, and people replied, I'm doing it every day. You know,
Yeah, very
I
nice.
was so happy.
All glories to your service, Prabhuji. Please keep doing that. And
Learning from
more peace.
everyone, you all, Prabhuji, you guys are, definitely all these Prabhujis are foundation for that. I would say thankful to everyone. And today, it's in India, it's too late, but somehow my dad
Oh, you're
called
in
me,
India.
and my dad listened to your lesson as well. So while I'm listening to you,
Oh,
and
you're in India. Oh my God, you're listening at this
somehow
time.
he felt like not getting sleep. And then he asked some question this evening to me, and you answered that through the lesson today.
Oh, it happens, Prabhuji. It
Yeah,
happens.
did you see that? Like,
It
who would
happens.
expect my dad will call at the time you were doing the session, and he had a doubt this evening, and that cleared through your class.
Oh my God. Jai,
That's
jai.
Krishna's Leela,
Just Krishna's Leela. You know, you would not believe we had another Prabhu called Nagaraj Prabhu who was regularly coming out there because he was my best friend over here. And he now he's moved to Dubai and all that. Like, but he would tell me once it so happened that he was like stuck with some question which is bothering him very much. And suddenly I would send him from WhatsApp message of some particular sloka and slot. And he said, like, Prabhu, you will not believe it. I was just having a doubt, and the message that you sent me clarified my doubt.
Yeah.
So sometimes we don't know how Krishna is operating. We are just instruments, Prabhu. We're
Yeah.
just instruments, how Krishna pulls the strings.
Exactly.
It's just amazing, actually. And today morning, I was like, I think yesterday, I was just thinking about some sloka and I was thinking, oh, which chapter is it? Eighth chapter. Okay, I had to look at that. And when I just opened the Bhagavad Gita, exactly opened at eighth chapter. Sometimes things
Wow.
are like so, I mean, it's not like me saying that, but actually Bhagavad Gita is like really magical. Like if you have that kind of a this thing towards Bhagavad Gita, reading Bhagavad Gita, and if you're stuck in something or you want to know about something, and next day when you open, you'll exactly open on that particular chapter, you know. And it happened not just once, but so many devotees having that experience. So yes, it is the literal incarnation of Krishna. It is Krishna. Everything is Krishna. Bhagavad Gita is Krishna, is a literal incarnation of Krishna. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Krishna.
Yes.
Vigraha is Krishna. So every way Krishna is. So he can answer in any form. If you read Bhagavad Gita also, if you take this is Krishna and you're reading it, you are seeing at him. You know, when you're reading Bhagavad Gita, you're looking at Krishna. So obviously he can read your mind, he can answer all the, he's sitting in everyone's heart.
Exactly, Prabhuji. As yeah, another personal life experience, as you mentioned about that. So I can say it's like the more we chant, the more we get purified. So external things, the disturbances or everything go away by itself. So that's a personal experience. The more we chant, the more we get into this bhakti. So Krishna, will make sure no negative association will not even look at us or come near to us. So he will take the in charge and then protects the devotees, like the way Krishna chosen you to help Nagaraj Prabhuji. Did you see that kind of relation there? So it was really good.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I'm like normally we say the power of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but for me, I feel like one of the beautiful thing that it does as a side effect or as a side symptom is that it reduces our hankering towards material things. So these material things are the desires are the ones which are getting you into all kind of a complexities. We're getting more entangled, we're getting into more sinful things, and because of which again we are had to take birth. So
Yeah.
by reducing your hankering for material things, so that
Yes.
is what the mantra does. The mantra reduces hankering. So you no more like every day I'm hankering, oh, I want to buy this, I want to do that. That hankering will go away by chanting the Hare Krishna. You become more peaceful, you get more joy in by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So you're not having that itching, I want that, I want this kind of that itching will go down. So, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much. I'm learning a lot. I can, spread this knowledge again there. So
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhavati Mataji, I'm not sure if you're in a position to even speak because you said you're working there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Ram Lalla Prabhuji.
Ramlal Prabhuji, anything you would like to add?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, you already given all this information. Actually, is whenever Krishna books, you include this is with the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, everything. You make it as a package program. So it's really, really, really nice, and it's very auspicious day. We can hear from you, and as much as we can hear, we can purify it. And not only purifying, in addition, it is giving us, we become happy. It's very blissful actually. So, and Krishna Katha, all the same, all are identical. So we have to consider it. We have to give high value for this thing. So it's really very high. Thank you for your kind association, for your lovely, wonderful session. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I'm so happy to have your association. I want to just tell you that. Very, very happy to have your association. Yes, Amaga Prabhuji, like I think I'm not sure, Prabhuji
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji. Yep. Mataji is at work.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. It is so beautiful. And many of our devotees, Vrindavan Das Prabhuji, Hemal Prabhuji, Nisha Mataji, Sanchita Mataji, seems they are away. Okay, but anyway, we'll see them in the next week. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for explaining and taking us through Krishna book.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Every one of your presence is very, very precious to our Sangha. And wherever, I know we are juggling so many things, but whenever it's possible, please kindly give your association, even if it's for a few minutes also, even that's also precious. As Krishna says, Swalpam Abhyasya Dharma, little bit of service for Krishna becomes please. So thank you so much for giving your association.
Yeah, can we all request unmute and do three Haribols to Shyam Prabhuji, please?
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol, Hari
Hare
Bol.
Bol,
Hari
Hare
Bol.
Bol,
Hari
Hare
Bol.
Bol,
Hari Bol.
Hare Bol.
Hari Bol. Prabhuji, so if it is okay, if we can do the Nasima praise, Prabhuji, at the end.
Yeah, definitely, Prabhuji. Anyone would like to, or should I?
Is Ritu Mataji can do that?
Yes, Prabhuji, Riti Mataji lead and we all follow, respond.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Prahlad Lad Dayini.
Prahlad
Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha.
हिरण्यकाशिपो रक्षः
शिलातङ्का नखालये
शिलातङ्कानकालये
इतो न सिंहो भरतो नृसिंहो
इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो
यतो यतो यामि ततो नृसिंहो
यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो
बहिः नृसिंहो हृदये नृसिंहो
बहिर्नरसिंहो नरसिंहो
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे
तव करकमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपुर्तनुवृङ्गा केशवजिता नरहरिरूपा ते जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
तव करकमलवरे नखाम्
अद्भुत
अद्भुतशृङ्गाम्
दलिता
ललिता
हिरण्यकशिपु
हिरण्यकशिपु तनूभाम् केशवदृता नरहरिरूपा
केशवधृतहरिरूपा
जय
जय जगदीश
जगदीश
हरे
हरे जय जगदीश
जगदीश
हरे जय
जय
जगदीश
जगदीश
हरे
केशवजिता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवदृता
नरहरिरूपा
जय
जय
जगदीश
जगदीश
जय
जय
जगदीश
जगदीश हरे
जय जगदीश
जय
हरे
जगदीश हरे
जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव
जय
जय नरसिंहदेव जय
देव जय
जय
नरसिंहदेव
नरसिंहदेव जय
नरसिंहदेव जय
नरसिंहदेव
नरसिंहदेव
जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय
जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय
जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय
जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय
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 प्रभुपाद
प्रभुपाद जय
प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय
प्रभुपाद
जय प्रभुपाद
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि
हरि
बोल
बोल
नृसिंहदेव भगवान की
जय
जय जय जय
प्रहलाद महाराज की
जय
जय
जय गौर प्रेमानंदे
हरि हरि
हरि बोल हरि बोल
कृष्णा
Very nice. Very nice.
जय
Ritesh.
नृसिंहदेव
Very nice. Thank you.
Big Hari Bol for beautifully singing.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Beautiful singing. Very nice.
Thank
Hari
you
Bol.
very much for beautiful ending to our
Thank you, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Very good.
Happy to have your thingy. Nice bhajan, very nice. So Hare Krishna everyone. We'll again see next Thursday. Stay
Sure.
blessed. And by the grace of Radha Gokulinda. Hare Krishna.
Hare
One
Krishna.
to
Hare Krishna,
Okay.
Shamji,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Vancha
Passing the
Kalpataru,
Peva.
Passing the
Hare
Veda,
Krishna.
All devotees,
Pamani
Krishna
Krishna
conscious
Vaishnava
day.
Device
More.
the key. Jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Shah
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
everyone.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna.